While reality TV often showcases tales of love, romance and drama, few shows provide a raw and honest look into the extreme realities of life like Deadliest Catch. For nearly 2 decades, intense series has gripped audiences worldwide, offering a vivid portrayal of the high-stakes world of commercial crab fishing in the Bering Sea. Excitement of high seas drama lies a haunting undercurrent of tragedy, sobering tale of lives lost to the merciless ocean. Each season is a reminder of the sea's unforgiving nature, and as the icy waters continue to claim lives, one must ask how many more must be sacrificed before we fully grasp the gravity of the risks these fishermen face. For nearly 2 decades, Deadliest Catch has captivated audiences worldwide with its unflinching portrayal of commercial crab fishing, showcasing the heart-stopping moments aboard vessels tossed by tempestuous seas while peeling back the layers to reveal deeper story, one of perseverance, profound loss and the indomitable spirit required to survive in such a perilous environment. The question looms: what drives these captains and their crews to return to the sea season? It is a living chronicle of human resilience, a testament to the endurance, sacrifice and unbreakable bonds formed in the face of relentless adversity. Every episode captures not just the struggle against nature but the internal battles fought by these fishermen and women, the moments of doubt, the strain of leadership, the heartbreak of loss and the brief but hard-earned flashes of victory. Wendy Hansen's rise from Dan to respected leader is symbolic of a new generation pushing against old limits, determined to honor the past while forging a new path forward. She, like so many others, is not just fighting for survival but for recognition, dignity and the right to stand shoulder to shoulder with the men who have long dominated the decks. As Deadliest Catch continues, the show's focus is broadened beyond the immediate dangers of crab fishing to explore the long-term toll the lifestyle takes. Mental health struggles, substance abuse and family breakdowns are no longer hidden behind the rough exterior of stoic fishermen. They are openly acknowledged, providing a rare window into the emotional cost of high-risk labor. The cameras may capture the triumph of a record-breaking haul or the exhilaration of braving a storm, but they also reveal the quieter, darker moments when captains break down, deckhands walk away, or families crumble under the strain. These stories resonate because they reflect universal human experiences: the hunger for success, the burden of responsibility, and the pain of personal failure. Behind the rugged beards, tattooed arms and weathered faces are individuals who, despite their toughness, are profoundly human, vulnerable to the same fears, griefs and hopes as anyone else. One cannot watch Deadliest Catch without sensing the looming presence of the sea itself, almost a character in its own right, unpredictable, merciless and awe-inspiring. It is a force that demands respect and extracts payment, whether through the loss of a pot boat or tragically a life. It is this intimate, unfiltered confrontation with mortality that gives the series its raw power. While reality TV often thrives on artificial drama, Deadliest Catch stands apart by offering something more authentic, a reminder that real life hold stakes no script can manufacture. As audiences continue to tune in season after season, they are not just watching the pursuit of crab, they are bearing witness to a centuries-old struggle between humankind and nature, fragile dance of survival played out on the crests of icy waves. In the end, Deadliest Catch is not just about the crab or the catch, it is about the people there, sacrifices, the resilience and the indelible mark they leave behind with each passing storm. What makes Deadliest Catch endure after so many seasons is not just the spectacular visuals of heaving waves or the technical choreography of launching pots and high winds. It's the way that show invites us into the inner lives of the men and women who gamble everything each time they cast off. Sea represents a final chance at redemption. Many crew members like Nick Mlashen, before his untimely passing, spoke openly about battling addiction and using the discipline of fishing as a way to stay clean. Others like Wild Bill Okrosky carry the weight of being both leader and surrogate father to broken young men who arrive on the docks, desperate to outrun their past. Are no illusions on the Bering Sea. Environment strips away pretense, exposes weakness, and demands accountability. A greenhorn who fakes confidence or hesitates when danger strikes can not only cost himself a limb but risk the lives of his crew. It's that crucible, that harsh test of spirit and character, is part of the unspoken curriculum of the Dan's education. It's a brutal initiation, but for those who make it through, it can also be transformative, offering a sense of purpose that the world on land so often withholds. The ships themselves are more than just vessels, they're symbols of lineage, pride, and often burden. The F/V Northwestern, captained by Sig Hansen, represents not only Norwegian fishing heritage but also the psychological cost of legacy. Sig's body has endured strokes, heart attacks, and years of abuse at the hands of freezing winds and high stress. And yet it continues to return, driven by something far deeper than profit. His relationship with Mandy adds an additional emotional, watching a father try to guide his daughter through the same brutal path he once walked, balancing his protective instincts with a hard truth that safety and success rarely coexist. Out there, Mandy's rise as captain is a rare storyline in television. A woman surrounded by a legacy of men carving her place not by defiance alone but through endurance, humility, and performance under pressure. Her struggle is not just to be accepted by the fleet, but to surpass the invisible ceiling imposed by an industry long defined by masculinity and generational stoicism. Then there are those who seem perpetually at war with themselves. Harris, whose storyline intertwined deeply with the death of his father. Captain Phil has long battled to step out from under the shadow of that legacy. For viewers who remember the night Phil collapsed, who witnessed the hospital scenes, the heartbreak, the rawness of a crew shattered by mortality, Josh's continued presence on the show has been an emotional anchor. He represents the weight of unfinished business, of promises made to ghosts, and the difficulty of growing into leadership without collapsing under the burden of comparison. Josh has faltered, made bad business decisions, clashed with partners, and walked away from the deck more than once. Yet there's something deeply human about his struggle, the way he keeps returning, seeking not only his own identity but a sense of closure with the man who raised him on the sea. Viewers who have followed the series since its inception know that the boats aren't the only things that change. The seasons grow shorter, the quotas shift, and regulations tighten, mirroring the broader environmental and political pressures that weigh on commercial fishing as a whole. Climate change looms quietly but unmistakably in the backdrop. Warming waters, shifting crab populations, and unpredictable storm patterns have begun to erode the reliability of traditions once considered unshakable. These challenges, compounded by economic volatility and fuel costs, have forced many captains to take bigger risks for smaller returns. The financial stakes are harrowing. A single mechanical failure, a mistine storm, or a poor crab count can turn a season of brutal labor into a net Loss, and unlike office jobs, failure at sea doesn't just affect the individual. Ripples out to families, communities, and small towns that depend on the income of those few chaotic weeks on the water. Yet, despite all this, the draw remains irresistible. For every veteran who retires or is lost, a new face emerges, often younger, more reckless, and unaware of what they are truly facing. These greenhorns are the raw material from which deckhands are for their hands blister and split open in the cold. Their stomachs churn with a rocking rhythm of the boat, earn respect only after months of silence, sweat, and quiet observation. The rite of passage is not a ceremony, but a grind, a series of long nights and longer days where a single misstep can bring shame or injury, but with time they begin to move like the others, find a rhythm in the chaos, a strange peace amid the madness. Then somewhere along the way, they stop dreaming of the beach and start dreaming of the next hole, the next tide, the next moment when the sea grants just enough mercy to make it all feel worth it. It's this addictive combination of danger and brotherhood that makes leaving the industry so difficult. Many former deckhands who age out or get injured find themselves struggling to adapt to life on land. The structure and meaning they found at sea don't translate easily to cubicles or service jobs. These is common, though rarely discussed. The smell of diesel, the sound of winches, or even the taste of salt in the air can trigger powerful memories. Some treasured, some traumatic. Captains too often face a slow and painful transition out of the wheelhouse. Knowledge honed over decades becomes less valuable in a world where satellite data and environmental policy now dominate fishing decisions. For some, retirement feels like erasure, a slow fade from a life where every choice mattered and every storm was a test of leadership. And yet, for all its brutality, Deadliest Catch never loses sight of the beauty inherent in its sub. The cinematography, from sweeping drone shots over glacier-lined horizons to the intimate close-ups of exhausted faces lit by sodium vapor lamps, transforms the decks of crab boats